Hi, my name is Deanna, and today I'm going to share with you the top 3 things that I learned as a caregiver. My husband struggled with Lewy body dementia, and for about 3.5 years, we were down the path of chasing symptoms and trying to find a diagnosis and just the struggling of these diseases, which are horrible. And this is why I'm here today. Um, I am a volunteer with the Alzheimer's Association, and I work with support group leaders and lead some education programs. And I'm happy to be here today to just share with you some of the key things that I learned. So as I refer to him, just want to give you kind of an image. Bob and I were married for 24 years, and that is us. Happier days, of course. Fortunately, I had the forethought to get some family photos about 6 months before he passed. But these items that I'm going to share, they sound very elementary and basic, but they are just at the core of what helped me get through just an unimaginable struggle and suffering, his suffering and our family's suffering. The first one is join a support group. I probably did this in retrospect too late in this period of time, but joining a support group through the Alzheimer's Association, I joined the early onset support group, really helped me in ways that nothing else could have. And that's really the key. So not only did I end up having camaraderie in realizing that I wasn't alone. Again, when you get out of your own shell and you realize that unfortunately millions of people are going through this struggle. And so in that, there are people that can help you, people who've been there and people who are there right along with you. I didn't have the luxury to sit around and read books and understand symptoms and how to handle them, but I could go to a meeting or then have contacts with people and say, Paula, what should I do? This is happening tonight, right now. And just my new friends that had gone through it. And that was amazing because his journey, things happened so quickly. And, just living with this, there are things that happened that I did not know how to handle. I didn't know any of the things that I know now. So learning how to handle behaviors, going to a support group was the quickest way to just support me in being able to keep him home as long as I could. Um, and also just that perspective that I wasn't alone. That is overwhelming. And this is these diseases and this entering the healthcare system and trying to navigate all of that just can be very isolating. And my experience was that there's some shame and not everybody's talking about dementia like some other um, diseases or afflictions. And so that is another layer. And out of respect for my husband, I wanted to be respectful of him and how he was feeling. So a confidential support group definitely helped me. And there were some things that happened along the way, crises, that I could then tap into that network. And, when he had to go into the hospital, I knew that 2 of my support group friends had had that same instance. And I was able to say, what are my choices? What should I do? And they were able to say, I did this, don't do this. I never would have known that. So it just kind of expedited my learning. And his journey was pretty, escalated. And so that was helpful. That was definitely helpful. And, things that happen are horrible. They're horrible and they're scary. And I don't know how many times I could call my friends or my parents and say, oh my gosh, this happened today, when all they want to do is comfort me. You need that, but you also need people who can like functionally help you handle your loved one with dementia. So that is not just an advertisement, because of course these are free support groups, but that is definitely one of the top 3 things that helped me um, in just to cope and camaraderie, but learn how to deal in a way that I didn't understand clinically. I didn't know how to handle these symptoms. The second thing that I learned as a caregiver, and of course, some of our best learnings are going to be through the hard way, but do not be afraid to be your loved one's advocate. Navigating the healthcare system, it is difficult. And I cannot imagine somebody who has dementia doing that on their own. And unfortunately, the wait list and the response time and the number of patients that have these issues is many. So you are just one of so many. But in the moment, when your loved one needs an appointment, needs new medication, is having a negative effect on medication, you have to get response. And do not be afraid to keep calling, keep asking. You don't know what you don't know. And that, the things that I experienced, if I hadn't been so unafraid and kind of bossy, I can't imagine where we would have been. And just to, ask all kinds of people, not only ask the neurologist, ask the nurse, and then ask the general practitioner. I became, unfortunately, really great friends with the pharmacist in that team because there were a lot of medications. And I feel like a pharmacist is a good partner when you're dealing with so many just really advanced meds. So, when they would say, gosh, we hear that this is an issue for you, we'll call you back tomorrow. They never called back tomorrow. Never, not one time. And so I would call in 25 hours, I would call again. So, I had to be the squeaky wheel, but I also gained a lot of perspective and appreciation for my health and, empathy for those who didn't have somebody like me. So, you are your loved one's advocate. And just take that and do not be, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate because that is the only way that you're going to be able to speak for them, obviously with these diseases, and get them what they need. So that is the second thing that I learned through some blood, sweat, and tears, the hard way, as they say. And the third thing that I learned was to try to be in the moment. The reality that for me, realizing, my husband was going to die from this. I was 49 years old when he passed. That is overwhelming. And you never imagine that, as your life. That's not what you imagine. And I had to put that on the shelf, as my friend Lisa told me. She's like, you got to put that on the shelf. And just to not obsess or worry or be sad. Certainly there's grieving. You're grieving while the person's alive. And also your loved one is losing pieces of themselves. Somebody said this once that, dementia, imagine writing everything you know how to do on a whiteboard. Make toast, brush your teeth, do calculus. I don't know how to do calculus, but a lot of people do. And then every day you erase two of those things. And when you're living with somebody with a form of dementia, you see that happening, but that's just overwhelming. So, you're not having the relationship with the same person that you were, 1, 2, 5 years ago, or whatever it is. And that's overwhelming. So I really had to focus and kind of change my personality kind of approach to slow things down and be in the moment. Appreciate, like, I'm so thankful to be able to share this meal right now, or that we both kind of had a laugh, or thank you for the sunshine we were able to share. And thank you for the good night's sleep. Whatever it is, slow down and just appreciate those moments. And at the time, take it in and just say, gosh, I know what's happening right now is good. And your scale might change. What used to be just a great, grandiose event, we didn't have those anymore. So we just had just being comforting and sitting by each other, being thankful that we took family photos at that time, that's valuable and that's respectful for your loved one. that's still treating them with respect and realizing that they're still here, they're still present. And um, and I enjoyed those moments as well. So just kind of changing your scale and your perspective and trying to put the things that are extremely overwhelming and scary, um, just try to put them on the shelf, so to speak, and be in the moment. So those are the top three things that I learned and that were the most valuable to me. And I hope that they were helpful for you. And if you have any questions at all for the Alzheimer's Association or for me, please put them in the comments below and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you. Stay well.